Hello and welcome to Dillon Council Update from our meeting June 20th. I'm Kerstin Anderson, Director of Marketing and Communications, and I'm here with Carolyn Skowyra, our council member. Hi.
Hi, beautiful day here at the Farmers Market.
Oh my gosh, perfect. I was looking at that date, June 20th, for our meeting, and gosh, just sort of feeling like summer's flying by before it's even started.
It's going to be 4th of July before we know it.
Absolutely. So we had a pretty brief meeting the other night, lots of nuts and bolts. The first thing you guys did was you interviewed for a P&Z position.
That's right. We interviewed Kevin Stout, and we ended up choosing him to serve on our board for planning and zoning. Basically, planning and zoning, if you're not familiar, they review all the projects we have in town and make sure that they're compliant with our code. And then pass things on to the council as they need to. If you're interested in getting involved or even seeing what they're about, you can show up to a meeting. If you have something to say, they do a public comment period. Mm-hmm. And the meetings are on the first Wednesday of every month, with the exception of July, which is going to be moved back to June 28th. Right. So if you guys are in town and you want to see what planning and zoning is all about and welcome Kevin Stout to the Planning and Zoning Commission, stop by June 28th at Town Hall.
Wonderful. Okay, so the next thing we talked about was, as we're developing and looking at development, parking is such a central issue, and a lot of our conversations just revolve around ensuring that we're developing in an intelligent way and making sure that we're taking care of resources for the future. So let's talk about some of the changes that our town engineer proposed.
Yeah, so we ended up talking about two changes that were restrictive to development in Dillon. The first one is that our parking requirements in the town center have been different from the parking requirements in the rest of town, and it really made it cumbersome and confusing for developers to come in and try to comply with both sets of parking rules. So we sort of edged them both closer together, and now we have one uniform set of parking instructions for the whole town. So that's going to make it a lot easier for developers to know what we want from them and really understand. The second change we made was involved driving through a parking lot. And so right now we have a few public right-of-ways, and when we replotted some of our lots, we're going to end up hopefully developing some of those parking lots, and that creates a public right-of-way with 90-degree parking on it, which right now our code said you can't back out of that spot. So we'd have people park and they wouldn't legally be able to get out of their spot. So we changed it. We just allowed on a public right-of-way, so an unnamed street. In the future, we anticipate having a few of these.
Right.
Where in those instances, people parked in a 90-degree spot are now going to be legally able to back out of that parking spot and continue on with their day.
Great. So we had a third party come up and give a brief presentation on our annual financial audit.
Yeah.
You want to talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, without getting too deep into this, basically we got a really positive review from our auditors. Everything looks good and everything's in good shape, and we've had a little bit of growth over the last year, so Dillon is in excellent shape financially.
Absolutely. And so some of those, we sort of have two kinds of accounts, and one of them has to do with kind of retail and lodging, and the other has to do with services like water and things like that. And they were really seeing a nice increase out of lodging especially. So that's a great leading indicator of, just good things to come in the town.
That's right. We had a little bump in some of our revenues because we increased our fees just a little bit to keep up with the times. So
yeah, absolutely. And so Carrie McDonald, our finance director, always puts that audit together, and she got called out for her just diligence in what she does every year. So I'm just going to give a shout out to Carrie. So the next thing she talked about in terms of the budget is that we're kicking off our next year's budget process.
Yep, we're starting the process in July. We're going to have a council retreat and talk about our big plans for the next 5 and 10 years, and hopefully you have some of those things reflected for next year's budget.
Yeah, absolutely. So we know we have a lot of money going towards the amphitheater. We have money earmarked for town park. How do those things continue to work together? And then how do we look at other big projects like street refurbishing, and of course the marina, things like that. Let's see, heal.
Yeah, healthy eating and active living. So this is a campaign that's basically getting towns to buy in and say, hey, we're active and we're looking to get our employees active and healthy, and hopefully overall the effect of this is that as we stay healthier, we're able to keep our healthcare costs low, because we need less healthcare if you stay active and healthy for your whole life.
Right. So our town clerk, Joanne Tyson, and Matt Lope looked at this and said, wow, we're really doing a lot of these things already. And then there's other things like looking at pedestrian crossings and things like that we could easily implement. With High Country Conservation in town, there's easy ways that we can try to look to partner for them and look at gardens and things like that. So they were really passionate about bringing this forward, and I think it's great for the residents and it's great for our employees, and it really fits that like outdoor rec niche that fits us so well.
That's right. We're excited to be leading the charge on this resolution in the county. So
it also will allow us to apply for some grants for different things.
Grant money.
Yeah, we love that.
We love grant money.
Okay, let's see.
What else?
The other thing we talked about, so events. We're fully in event season. Have you been down to a concert at the amphitheater yet?
I have. I went to fake Jimi Hendrix. It was fantastic.
It was kind of awesome, right?
That was a really fun show. And then I'm looking forward to Grey Boy All-Stars tomorrow night.
Yeah, it's going to be so fun. So we have local favorite John Trisselli tonight.
Yep.
Grey Boy All-Stars is going to be a big one on Saturday. Next weekend we have Bo Thomas, who's playing right over there at the farmers market today. And then the Chris Robinson Brotherhood. We have been out there, actually, we're doing a capital campaign to earn money for a new sound system there. So, come on out, drop $5 off. I figured if, everyone who goes to a concert just gives $5, we'd be well on our way to our goal of $100,000 in no time.
That's right.
Let's see, what else? The farmers market every Friday.
Yeah.
I've been loving it. The weather has been gorgeous.
We've had 3 perfect days for farmers market, so that's sort of an exceptional summer kickoff for us. I've been playing a lot of Steely Dan personally, getting ready for our closing show this summer in Town Park.
Good.
Yeah.
I'll be out there dancing with you, Carolyn.
So July 8th is our last concert at the amphitheater, and after that we're going to move concerts Saturday night here in Town Park.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a lot of fun. Okay, well, that was the news. We'll see you next time. We are going to have a community chat session, so that's an open house in August. Look for that on the digital sign and on the website. And of course, come visit us at townofdillon.com for all things Dillon. See you next time.